Hey, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak Kodash, the abundance of the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of the earth, risking your life to do so. I'm the brother Shaman out of the Great Millstone, Chicago, and just jumping in on this news. Jesse Jackson, which he has the title of Reverend. And I was actually taking a look at that title, because that title is not just for anybody. The title is for those who come in the counsel of the Lord, right, and who speak the word of the Lord. Right? That's why the Lord said, my ways are higher ways. And those priests who've been ordained to speak His word and to teach His word, right, and to even prophesy, right? Because in today's times, the priest and the prophet are one and the same. There is a certain respect that's supposed to be given to them, right? But only for the true ministers of God. And this is why there are so many rebukes. I would say you have not ministered aright, because it's very specific. Either you speak the counsel of the Lord, you speak the word of the Lord, or you don't. And this guy, who they call Reverend, he was not speaking the word of the Lord. And this is Sirach 7 and 29. It says, fear the Lord with all your soul and reverence His priests. Let me get that word for reverence, because that's what this word reverend comes from. And one who's given reverence to. Also reverent, worthy of deep respect, worthy to be revered, due to age, character. Reverend, directly from Latin reverendus, he who is to be respected. Revere, to stand in awe, fear, respect, honor, be afraid of. You get it. And I like this AV 16 and 11 definition. Worthy of reverence, entitled to respect, mingled with fear and affection. And you look at this man, which he was definitely linked in with them people. Him and Al Sharpton, they're definitely linked in with the CIA. Right, like I said, they definitely linked in with them peoples. But they're the ones who created the whole Rainbow Coalition, which linked so-called black people with LGBT rights, and then Asian rights, and then all these other groups' rights. And then, they would even throw Latinos in there, at certain points of time. Because they came on the scene in the 60s, we were trying to get away from colored and, Negro and all of these bywords. And one of the things, matter of fact, I'm going to play this video, because some certain portion of it may, it was understandable. They were trying to say that, well, so-called black people need a nationality, which is true.
Well, the first enslaved Africans in Virginia, standard terminology to describe Africans living in America was colored or Negro. For over 360 years, as blacks were relegated to second-class citizens.
Which those two are bywords. All right, the Israelites have said you become a proverb, a byword. All right, the other nations will go past you and hiss and make a mockery at you. All right, how you black and colored? Which one is
it? Terms that reinforced oppression have been used to describe them. But as centuries pass, black people have at times fought to break free from derogatory labels. After the Civil War, several black people dispensed with the names given them by their former enslavers. This
exactly. They call their own lands by their names. They do that with the lands. They oppress a man, his house, and his heritage. All right, so they did that to you Jakes. All right, all you so-called blacks, you got the last name Jackson, Johnson, Smith. You got that from Edomites. The Edomite who was your slave owner, that's you received their last name. All right, and to this day, the Johnsons, family vacation, all this, you got that from an Edomite. That's not your heritage. Okay, they wash your when you spoke that Hebrew, they would wash your mouth with soap. They forced you to speak English, forced you to worship their Messiah. It was all through force. Right? Hey, you Latinos, all of this Lopez, Gomez, Dominguez, whatever else, whatever Spanish last name, those are names that were given to you by your Spanish captors. Those are not your actual names. That's how you know you're a slave. Somebody else gives you your name. You don't go back to, son of Benjamin, a son of Ephraim, son of Issachar, son of,
would continue even into the 1900s when, during the height of the civil rights movement, black leaders strongly rebelled against Jim Crow labels. But for mainstream America, a major turning point came in the late 1980s. On this day in 1988, a group of black leaders, including Reverend Jesse Jackson and representatives from the NAACP, met to discuss the national black agenda. It was here that Jackson and his peers catapulted the term African American into the country's lexicon. The term,
and that's why I say that these people definitely was juiced in, because they wouldn't just let anybody just jump in and change that byword and that narrative. But they were smart enough to say, okay, well, we can't say black, which they still say black to this day. That's still one, but now it's more confusion, right? What did King say? We left him, took him out of we led my people into a burning building. Now you are out of the frying pan into the fire when it comes to your identity. Now you think you're African. Now Jake is looking up Africa, and the which some of those places we actually were. Some of that we actually were, but you have to understand why we were there. All right, Revelation 12. You have to understand, what is the original culture and the original heritage that we come from, Israel. Right? Israel is the mother to us all.
Has been used since the 1970s, but never gained widespread acceptance until after this Chicago convention. Reverend Jackson said, to be called African Americans has cultural integrity. It puts us in our proper historical context. Every ethnic group in this country has a reference to some land base, some historical cultural base. African Americans have hit that level of cultural maturity.
Exactly. Which he was right on that particular point. Every nation, every nationality, they go back to a nation. Okay? But when you look at it, all these different nations that have been established, because Israel's a people before it's a place, every nation's a people before it's a place. All right, what we're telling you is we know the original nations that were on this earth, including the original nation that so-called white people refer to them as, which they're really Edomites. Right? They're really Edomites, and the scriptures gives you certain of their history. Alexander going back to the line of Agag and the line of Amalek, which Amalek, I believe, was a grandson of Esau, but that's the chief house of Esau, Edom. All right, so-called black, Native American, and Latinos, we go back to the Israelites. Right, and then you can look up Table of Nations, look up GMS, look up Table of Nations, and we have videos on that. All these different other nations, so-called East Indians or Elamites, so-called Chinese or Moabites. How do you guys know that? It's through the Spirit, and we have certain scriptures that confirm who they are. There's certain of them, they actually still use those terms from the scriptures. Ishmael, they know that they're Ishmael. You call them the sons of Ishmael, they'll agree with you. All right, but this is Leviticus 19:30. I'm going to cut this short. It says, ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reference my sanctuary. I'm the Lord. So we're supposed to have a certain sanctity. We're supposed to keep it holy. All right, but the scriptures say what? Sirach 4:22. It says, accept no person against your soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause you to fall. So if you over reverence somebody and that causes you to fall, that's a problem. And that's what happened during the civil rights movement. These people were given reverence, for, they don't even, what scriptures are they coming with? What out of the book are they coming with? You're coming under the guise of the Bible, but you don't actually teach the Bible. You don't know any scriptures, or you don't teach it. Right, that's what people do. They see somebody famous, somebody well-spoken, or they got a suit on, then they're just gonna follow them. People are foolish. Like a foolish flock. You get around Israel, that's what happens, man. People get crowded up. They just, whatever the flock is doing, whatever the herd does, that's what they do. That's the flock of Israel, wandering around. They need a good shepherd. And that's what we're set up to do. All right. Hey, Micah 3:1. And I said, here I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment? Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off the skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones. Who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones, and chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron. Then shall they cry unto the Lord, he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Basically, the heads of Jacob pluck off the skin. They cause the people to be consumed. Now you take away this information, you cause your people to be consumed, because they don't know what the fuck is going. They don't know who they are. And the Lord had that set up for a time. He said he would hide his face from them at that time. But now he's showing himself. Hey, this is who I am. This is my word. These are the men who I had set up. Right? So your eyes shall see your teachers. Now, they say through the spirit of his mouth, basically Esau will be consumed. So, Lord willing, is edifying. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh while Yahweh Shai. We can see the media, they can create narratives and create, they can completely falsify. That's why the scriptures say, when men speak highly of you, that's not a good thing. When the world speaks highly of you, you're on the news, media. Shit, Trump has been there every day since he got in office. Every fucking day. Literally every day. Like, I noticed that when Biden was in there, he was in there, every week or whatever. Trump was in there every day. Every day. So, and that's why, because these people control the media, they control the narrative, but through the Spirit of the Lord, that narrative is being shifted. And that's why we're even able to be able to do these lessons, because the Spirit of the Lord is on us. But shalom to the elect. Call Haloyim La Yahweh Bashim Awashai. We're going to continue to push this word, man. Lord willing, and to the end. Shalom.